So something that's kind of interesting about you versus like Liver King, I get the sense that you're willing to incorporate like technology and like wearables, like a Dexcom and like things of this nature to optimize and kind of like biohack, even though it's not necessarily like ancestrally consistent to where like a Dexcom, obviously. So that sort of thing. Do you do things around your sleep too with like, I don't know, blue light blocking glasses, blackout blinds, wearables that track your deep and REM, stuff like that?
I do do blue blocking glasses. People will laugh if you come to my house at night, it's all red lights. It looks like a
Okay.
lizard cage. Just
Yeah.
lights calming. There's conflicting research on whether that's really important, but I like the red lights at night. I definitely have blackout curtains, and I have found for me that the sleep temperature and the temperature in the bed is important. So I've used like various cooling
Which
pads seem
one
to
do you
help.
find to be the best? Because
Oh man,
I've
it's hard.
had, yeah, I don't know who to believe too, because a lot of people who talk about it, they're like an affiliate or like a sponsored person. So I don't know if like Chili Pad's the best or like the eight, whatever. Like there's a bunch of different companies, and I don't.
I've had multiple chili pads. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm
No
sorry.
worries.
I've had multiple chili pads and they almost always break. So I have two Oolers right now. They're both broken. And I need to call chili pad and get a new pad from that, like cracked and leaks all over the floor. So those broke. I had an 8 sleep that eventually broke. And then one of my friends was like, "Oh, you got to try this thing called a bed jet, which like literally blows air between your sheets." And I haven't tried it. I just put it on my bed yesterday. I just got back to Austin, Texas right now. And I was like, I don't even know if I can sleep with this thing because it's like inflating the sheets around me.
Oh
So
my god.
yeah, but I haven't figured it out, man. Like I like the chili pad when it works.
Yeah.
It's not quite powerful enough for Costa Rica, although it's pretty good. I mean, I have air conditioning in my house in Costa Rica. I prefer to have like open air, but I
Yeah.
can't
What's
do it.
the degree in your bedroom? Do you manually manipulate it to like, I don't know what the equivalent is to, I sleep in 18 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Like, is there a
20,
number?
20 degrees Celsius is because I have like the air conditioning units I have in Costa Rica are in Celsius and I'm usually
Yeah.
around 20. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what like
Yeah.
the optimal temperature is, or is it just like based on whatever optimizes your metrics the best?
Yeah. Well, some people would say what, 68, 67, who knows?
What is that in Celsius?
Oh man, I'd have to look it up. We'd have to do the conversion. I don't know. Probably 18, 18 or 19.
68 Fahrenheit to Celsius is
18
20.
Celsius is pretty cold. Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm doing it
Okay.
too cold. I don't know. It
Well,
definitely is a little bit harder to get out of bed though too when it's like really fucking cold. You're like, no, I'll stay under here.
but
So I don't
I
know.
do think some cooling in the bedroom helps. For a while there, I wasn't using air conditioning in Costa Rica and I had the chili pad going and that was a little hard. Like the chili pad was just chugging along. It's working so hard to cool the bed. But
Yeah. One of the issues I've sort of run into as far as like the intermittent fasting thing and having your food, too close to bed, there's like the intermittent fasting window affords mental flexibility where you're like cognitively sharp. For me, anytime now, I know obviously your glucose control is going to play into how sharp you stay postprandial and like how tightly you can control that, spike and then subsequent drop. But there's also the idea that you don't want your body temperature to go up too much and eat too close to bed and be digesting while you're trying to sleep because that screws up your sleep too. So do you have like an eating window allocated to where you're not like potentially impeding your mental sharpness in the morning, but then also not screwing up the getting to sleep part on the tail end?
yeah, so I actually looked into this. It's quite fascinating. For a while there, I was trying to keep a strict 8 hour window.
Mm,
And there's some research. I mean, it's only a few studies, and I've only looked at a few small studies, but I think there was at least one study where they took diabetics and they put them on a 6 hour eating window. And it was only a 4 day study. And they didn't look at testosterone, but they did see improved metrics of autophagy. Actually, the mTOR went up in the evening, which was fascinating because everybody thinks mTOR is going to go down, but
mhm.
intermittent fasting can actually increase mTOR. And mTOR gets vilified so much by certain types in the nutrition community that
Yeah.
kind of grinds my gears a little bit. But then there was a longer study. I think it was a month or two, and it was 8 hour eating window, and the testosterone actually went down with an 8 hour eating window. So And that's a strict 8-hour eating window. Like first bite to last bite is 8 hours, which is pretty hard for most people. So when I saw that stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm going to push my window out. 10 hours seems to be pretty good for me. Like I can pretty easily take my first bite to my last bite at 10, but not every day. Some days I'm an 11-hour eating window and I just don't stress it that much. But so I eat in the morning before I surf. I don't worry about eating to impair my mental clarity. I don't worry about that at all. I get up and before I surf at like 6 a.m., I'm going to have a papaya, half a papaya, a couple bananas, maybe some goat's milk kefir, and then I'm going to go surf. And then I'm going to come back, eat a big breakfast at 10 in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. And that's a pound of meat, a few ounces of organs, fruit, honey, raw dairy. That's what I do for my breakfast, lunch. And then I'll do dinner early in the evening. 3 or 4 p.m. is ideal for me. But if I eat it at 5, I don't stress it. So okay. I'm not really strict on my eating window, crazy, but I'm going to go to sleep early. Like I'm grandpa going to sleep at 9 p.m. So I don't want to eat too late because if I eat past 6, I'm going to probably affect my sleep negatively. I definitely want 3 hours between 2 to 3, at least before when I eat to when I finish, go to sleep.
Do you track your metrics with anything like an Oura ring or anything of that nature? No,
it's usually the type of thing. Like I get so in my head that I'll wear the Oura ring. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking up my sleep score.
It'll like ruin your sleep by trying to like beat your score sort of thing.
Yeah. When I had the 8 sleep bed, that one actually does it without wearing anything. So that's kind of cool. It does it kind of like secretly. It'll check your HRV and stuff, but I can usually feel it in the morning. Like, you wake up and some days you're like, man, I didn't sleep that good last night. Or you're like, oh, I feel good. Like that to me is as good as any Oura ring. And I'm like, oh, I'm fine.
How cognizant are you of like EMF and Wi-Fi and stuff like that? Like I know Liver King, he uses Ethernet for everything. And I don't know how much he plays this stuff up as a gimmick versus like he actually believes it. But
he believes it, dude. I've been to his house.
Okay. Off camera, this stuff is like what he's doing.
Yes, dude. It is so legit. Okay. And he's a really good human. He's a great human. He's a really nice guy. But he's intense. Like when I go to Liver King's house, like the cell phone is off in the house.
Yeah.
I can't even turn my cell phone on. It would be disrespectful because they ask you when you come in the door, please turn your cell phone off. It's on airplane mode if it's in the house. If you want to use your cell phone, go outside of the house. I'm not that intense. I do wonder about EMF, like I've got to wonder how much this stuff affects us as humans. I'm curious. Yeah. I haven't really been able to fully form my ideas around this yet. I don't sleep with the router in my genitals, like on my genitals. I don't sleep with the router on my head. Yeah. And honestly, just because I feel like it's an easy thing to do. If I'm in Texas or Costa Rica, when I go to sleep, I'll turn the router off. I don't need to have Wi-Fi in my house when I'm sleeping. Who knows if it actually makes a lick of difference? I don't have a lot of Wi-Fi routers around my house in Costa Rica. Yeah. There's a lot more here in Texas, but I'll turn the Google Fiber off when I go to sleep. And that's about where I leave it, man. I mean, I've got my cell phone, right here behind my computer that's irradiating me right now. And I'm in a house and I'm talking to you on Wi-Fi right now. So
your balls are getting destroyed, bro.
I know, right? So, I mean, who knows? It's an interesting thing. There's like so many rabbit holes to go down. That's not the one that I've chosen to like fully dive into, but it could be interesting. I remember hearing some research that if you wear your cell phone on your belt, that can decrease sperm counts and testosterone. So it's like, all right, if my phone is in my pocket, it's on airplane mode. I think there's like different levels, and the first level or 2 are so easy that I'll do that all the time.
Yeah. What about his, does he sleep on the floor or what's his bed?
He does. He does, dude. He did a video about his bedroom, and that's actually how his bedroom looks. And they actually have these really great mattresses. They're made of wool. And they're just very simple mattresses, and it's like all organic. I really like when I go to Liver King's house and I'll crash and hang out because we like to wake surf and stuff. I sleep amazing there for what it's worth. They have these super simple wool mattresses that are basically on crates on the floor.
So is there pillows too, or is it just like your head's just laying there?
No, I think he uses pillows. I haven't been in his bed, but I think he uses pillows. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Cause I could see some people arguing that some mattresses, they are impeding your spine's curvature and not complementary and whatnot. And sometimes I wonder myself, cause when you're sitting on a computer, you inevitably end up getting a bit of a shitty posture sometimes.
Oh, I know. I hate
then I just wonder, am I exacerbating it when I'm sleeping as well? I don't really know. Yeah.
I don't know. I sleep on my stomach, which people say is horrible, or my side. But generally, I'm like a stomach side sleeper. So I'm cranking my neck to the side, and like hyper extending my back. And then I have to get up and do deep squats to probably fix it. Who knows? But yeah, what I will tell you is that whatever, like I've never seen, I think I can safely say I've never seen Brian post about something that he doesn't do. Like he legitimately, so he's done a couple of posts for dramatic effect where he like runs the Ethernet cable like out into his backyard a few thousand feet. Yeah. So like, I think that's people know that's like a caricature.
Yeah.
And I think he did a post where he's like in Central Park working with an Ethernet cable coming from the hotel. Like, you know, like that's probably dramatic effect, but like legitimately everything in his house is on Ethernet. There's no cell phones in the house. And the man, like he freaking worked his ass off with his workouts. So he's a good dude.